Okay. Hello, this is Gabe Ets-Hokin with City Bike Magazine. I ride motorcycles so you don't have to. And I'm here with a very, very special motorcycle. I'm here in near Point Reyes Station, California. And I'm here with a very special and unique motorcycle. This is an NCR Leggera, and it is owned by Terry Otton. And I guess I'll just talk to him about it. Hey, Terry.
Good morning.
Hey, so Terry, tell us about this bike and kind of how it came to be.
I was a professional flat track motorcycle racer as a kid, and I never really got into the sport bike riding style, and had a number of motorcycles over the years. And I was down at Hitara Motorsports and had several Ducatis, and had a Hyper Motard, and concluded that I really liked it, but it wasn't enough. And they started to tell me about NCR and who NCR was and the bikes. And my first reaction was those bikes are ridiculously expensive. I'd never do anything like that. And that was the $78,000 version.
Now, and who is NCR? Just a tiny bit of background. Like, who is NCR and what do they do?
You know, it's owned by the Poggio Polini family in Italy. They've been around for some 40, 50 years. In fact, they produced one of the Ducati NCR race bikes that Mike Halewood won on way back when. Their passion is titanium and carbon fiber. They make a number of hand-built motorcycles every year. They're the extreme of perfection. One thing led to another, and I decided that I would go ahead and build this, but if we were going to build it, we were going to make it the lightest possible bike that we could. And ultimately, it even has a titanium swing arm, never been built before. The whole frame's titanium. The engine's been pushed out to 1200 cc's. It's got a billet crank, titanium rods. The original cylinders wouldn't hold that type of bore, so we had to recast the cylinders. At the top of the line, there's nothing on this bike that isn't the top of the line. Even the side stand is titanium.
Yeah. Now, what's the price tag on that side stand?
The side stand's $5,000 alone.
Okay, but it's a very nice side stand.
It's a very, very nice side stand.
Did I hear you correctly?
So I just got you very, very generously let me ride your bike for a few miles, and my immediate impression is not. So, well, let's just talk about the numbers, okay? It's 140 grand. Don't mean to embarrass you.
No, that's right. It's 140 grand.
$140,000. How long did it take them to build?
Took about 8 months.
So 140 grand, 8 months to build, and then weight with a splash of gas in the tank.
295 wet.
295 pounds, and about how much power is coming out of that engine?
116 horsepower on the dyno in Italy, and with about 120 pounds of torque.
Mm-hmm. And then, so, you know, a lot of people might look at this bike and kind of see the similarities with the Ducati product, but how many parts does this actually share with the Ducati?
Probably today, the gears in the transmission.
Okay. What about cases?
The cases are the original cases, but that's about it. There's really very little.
Okay, so this is not a Ducati.
Not a
anymore.
Ducati, other than, you know, these are special Öhlins fork. Those did not come off a Ducati. The wheels are all carbon fiber.
And those wheels were special ordered.
They
right?
were the only NCR. They have an aluminum sleeve going through, aluminum hub, and NCR is ultimately going to put on their own wheels that are all carbon fiber. It's got a titanium rear hub that was custom built for it because they wanted to be able to mount the brake and swing arm correctly.
Uh-huh. And tell us about that brake.
It's a ceramic front brake, front disc. We're ultimately going to put on a ceramic on the rear, but they haven't been finalized yet. I made the decision ultimately to only put one disc on the front because of the power to weight ratio on it. Bike. And I was a little concerned at first, and they convinced me now just put a single disc on it.
Yeah.
I've got more than enough stopping power.
Yeah, I think that was, I can say that the brakes definitely felt like they were sufficient for the bike's weight. Anyway, what I felt was remarkable about this bike was, I mean, you hear those numbers and you think that this thing's going to be this insane beast to ride. And other than the fueling at like low RPMs,
Yep.
like 3,000, 4,000. Like if you're trying to cruise along at 35
can't.
miles an hour,
It will not go 35 miles an hour.
it doesn't
Does
like that.
Not go 35
No,
miles
it doesn't
an hour.
like that either. But no, neither does my $2,500
Yeah.
piece of crap Super Sport. So that's nothing new for Ducatis.
But if you want to ride it calmly, you can. And when you start to ride it
Right.
aggressively, you can get the front end up without any trouble in the first 4 gears
yeah,
at all.
I noticed that.
You'll find yourself going into turns, 1.5 times faster safely than you could even imagine.
Yeah,
And it makes a lot of noise.
it does, and it sounds gorgeous. Actually, I forgot to do this on my last video, and I was criticized for it. Can you start the bike up for us so we can hear how? I don't know. The only words I can think of are sweet.
You notice when it turns on here, it comes up and says Leggera right there.
All right. Well, all I can say is ow, because my head was too close to the exhaust. That's a gorgeous bike, Terry. Thanks for letting me ride it, and thanks
Thank
for
you
showing
very
it to
much
us.
for enjoying it.
That was
I appreciate
great.
it.